Okay, we're back. Last lesson we drew our eyeball. Here is our drawing that we did of our eyeball in the last lesson. I hope it wasn't too complicated. I think it can be done by anyone. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you get the best you get, it's going to look awesome. Today we're going to talk about mixing our colors and how important it is to learn how to mix our colors, like on our color wheel here. So I'm going to set my eyeball back here behind us so we can look at it, and we will start painting our color wheel. All right, here we go, you guys. Welcome back. We're going to paint our color wheel. You can see that I started already, and the first thing I did was I needed to paint my primary colors. So we're going to take our eye. I'm going to start here with you guys, and I have two kinds of paints here I want to show you. This is acrylic paint, which is really easy. You could use watercolor paint if you want to. The reason I like to use Tempera paint, which is what this is it's, especially when I'm working at a school with kids, I don't even have to give them water at all. They can just wipe their brush out, and I can wash the brushes at the end of the project. Tempera will not dry on the brush. It just dries powdery, and so they wash later. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how that can be done if you have Tempera. If you don't, you'll use acrylic and you'll need water to wash between colors. I'm gonna show you. I just kind of cut up my old towels, and when I'm done with each project, I throw them in the washing machine. So we're gonna use a towel and Tempera paint and a 1/2 inch brush. This brush is a 1/2 inch square, flat brush, sorry. And I really like using a flat brush so I can use the corners when I'm mixing. Everyone's going to need a mixing surface, like a little paper plate, to mix their paint. So the first thing we're going to do is add our yellow on the Y section. You feel free to pause this whenever you need to give the kids a minute. If you're doing this as a group, or if you're doing it yourself, pause it. All right, and then I'm going to wipe my paint off on my towel. There we go. I'm going to get the red and there we go. Here's the R section. I'm going to kind of try and avoid my catch lights so it looks like the eyeball a little more, but if you paint them, you're fine. Some kids want to paint them, and that's okay. Okay, now you can see we only have 3 colors here, so we're going to be doing all of our colors on this whole color wheel by mixing. All right, to wipe that off with, if you have Tempera paint, if you have acrylic, wash it, dry it, and then we'll get our blue in our B section. Here's the B section. The drawing that we did together is the one that I started and realized I didn't hit record, so I got to pull out a new picture. So your B section is going to be in a little different spot, but find the B. There we go. All right. Wipe your brush really good, because when we go back to paint with yellow, we don't want any blue on there, but don't damage your brush by scrubbing it into the thing. Just wipe it nicely. All right. The first section we're going to do is our orange section. We're going to start with yellow, and watch how I pull a whole puddle of yellow out, and maybe even a second, and I put it on my plate. I wipe it off on the edge of that plate. We're going to do 3 squares here, and I need to have enough paint to mix for all 3 of those squares. Okay, so we have our yellow, and then I'm going to just dip the corner of my brush in red. So you can see I just got a little corner of it. If you get too much, it's going to change so fast you'll get orange or red orange. But we have this puddle of yellow with that little corner, and we're not going to paint the whole plate like this. We're going to try and mix in just one little area. We're going to have 3 little puddles when we're done from our mixing. And there we have, I can wipe it back off on the edge of my plate if I need to. We have yellowish orange. If yours went too dark, you can put it in your orange spot and then lighten it up for this spot. If you just got a tiny corner of red to that puddle of yellow, you're going to get a good yellowish orange. All right, now I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to pick up another corner of red. You can see I'm not dipping my whole brush in, just the corner. I'm going to pull in that paint, wipe off the brush, pull it over here. I really like to use the edge of that paper plate to help me. All right, let's try it. Does that look orange? I think I like it. I think it looks orange to me. Yours may not be the same exact orange, but if you feel like it's darker and you like it, paint it on there. Okay. There's my orange. I can see a difference. Now we need to do red orange. So one more time, we're going to dip it in a corner of red and we're going to start mixing with the orange that's already there. And I can see that it looks redder, but I think I want mine a tiny bit darker. So I'm going to add red again so it looks a little more reddish orange. Ooh, I like it. If you start painting your square and you think, oh, that's not dark enough, you can grab a little more red and mix it in again, and you can paint over what you started. It's kind of awesome how you can just paint over it. Okay, there's my red orange. Love it. All right, there's my 3 oranges. I'm going to wipe my brush off, and I'm going to save any extra paint that I have in that puddle for when we need to mix the black in the center of the eye. Okay, so now that I've wiped that off, I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush the best I can wipe it through my towel. And you can see I kind of pinch it and just try and squeeze the paint out. And I think we did good. All right, now we're going to do our green section. We're going for green. Now we know that yellow and blue make green. So we're going to go ahead and pull out a puddle of yellow again and put it in a new spot on our plate. All right, I'm going to get a little more because I know that I need a good amount of paint for this. Okay, there's my yellow puddle. And now I need to get a little corner of blue. Now blue is the darkest color and it's going to change yellow really quickly. So be very, very careful just to get a corner of blue. And if you feel like you got too much, wipe some off and mix it in. And I clearly didn't get too much, but sometimes I pick up too much, so I'll go ahead and pick that blue back up. Now we're making a yellowish green. I kind of love that color. It's like, what does it remind me of? It's almost like lime, but not. So there's my yellowish green. I think I like it. I'm going to go ahead and put it on there. If you don't think it's yellow green enough, you can add a little more. But I want to be very careful that I don't get away from yellowish green. I want it to stay pretty yellow. Okay, I'm going to put it on my yellow-green spot. Okay, there we go. Yellowish green. Wipe my brush off on my little spot here. Now I need to pick up another corner of blue. If I got too much, I'm going to wipe some off because blue is really strong. Mix it in. I'm trying to make pretty much solid green here, so I think I can go ahead and add all that blue in. Ooh, there we go. I'm getting green now. Get all the yellow out of my brush and add a tiny bit more blue, really carefully. Let's see. I like it. I think it looks pretty green. Maybe yours is a little darker, and that's probably great. If I get this on here and I decide I think I want my green darker, you can darken it up still and add it on there. Okay, now we need bluish green. So we're not too scared this time. We're going to add another corner of blue into what we have left of our puddle. Pick up any green that I have around. that looks still really just green to me. So I'm going to add more. I want it to look more like aqua blue because the greenish blue. Ooh, yeah, there we go. That's a bluish green. Nice dark bluish green this time. And actually that almost could be my green, and I could even go darker if I wanted to for the bluish green, but I like it. I just want to see a transition getting darker each one, and I feel like I've accomplished that. Okay, so now I need to get this green out of my brush so I can do my purple section. So we're going to clean it off really nicely, gently, but squeeze out that paint, or wash it off if you're using acrylic or watercolor. Okay, so now we need red and blue. And of red and blue, red is the lighter color. So I'm going to start with red because it's easier to darken a light color than it is to lighten a dark color. So I'm going to get a couple scoops of red. Yeah, I'm going to be really fun and get a third little bit. So you can see I gave myself a good amount of red. I probably should have done that both the other times. Okay, so I want reddish purple. I'm going to just add a corner of the blue. I got quite a bit of red here, so I'm not too worried that I'm going to go too dark with that. It's not going to get too dark because I have so much red. All right, does that look darker? It definitely does look like a darker red. Let's try it and see. Ooh, that's a pretty dark red. It's a purplish red. And you could even go darker with it if you want to. Okay, now I have so much red on my plate that I'm going to need more blue than you probably will if you don't have that much red. So keep that in mind. But I'm going to go with purple here. So I need to get a good amount of blue to darken my puddle of red and make it purple. Yeah, that still looks like dark red. Let's go a little darker. Ooh, it's starting to get purpley. I can even test it on the side to see. All right, I think I've changed that color quite enough. Let's try it. Ooh, look at that. That definitely looks like a good purple. Section it off and paint my purple section. I went a little darker than I realized, actually. I probably could have stopped sooner. Okay, so now I need a bluish purple. So I'm going to get one more dollop of blue, and I'm going to mix it, and maybe I'll just mix it in over here instead of trying to change that whole puddle. Since I got so much red, it's going to be kind of crazy to try and change it all. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. We got kind of an indigo purple color here. There you go. That is so fun. And there's our color wheel. You guys, we did it. Okay, the last thing we need to do is make black. Now I know this is going to be, the purple section here is the darkest section. I'm going to pick up some more blue and add it to that. I'm going to add as much of the green to it as I can, and actually even some of this orange. I'm going to pick up each color and I'm going to mix it right here on this dark spot. Mixing all the colors together. If you get too much yellow or orange, it might go brown, but let's try it on the side. It's kind of brownish. So I'm going to add a little more blue to mine to darken it a little more. Let's try it. Ooh, look at that. It's such a cool color because it's a mixture of all the colors. I can kind of see some of the colors in it. Go around that catch light. Get plenty of paint on here. Well, and there we go. It's because I have so much paint on my plate, I can add more to make it darker. If you don't have that much paint, it's okay. I'm going to use the paint I have here. Okay, and there we go. There is our color wheel eyeball. Some people take their dark color And if you want, you can add some eyelashes. Not everybody wants to do this part, and that's okay too. You don't have to do this. Add a few eyelashes if you want to. Maybe we have a few down here. And there you go. There's your eye. Make sure you write your name. Sign your name.